The riot in Ephesus, the clash between gospel and idolatry. In the annals of ancient history, the city of Ephesus stands as a testament to the clash between two powerful forces, the spread of the Christian gospel and the deeply ingrained practices of idolatry. This clash culminated in the infamous riot in Ephesus, a pivotal event that sheds light on the struggle between the emerging Christian faith and the well-established religious practices of the time. Ephesus, a hub of idolatry. Ephesus, located on the western coast of Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey, was a city of immense cultural and religious significance during antiquity. The city was renowned for its grand temple dedicated to Artemis, one of the most revered deities in the Greco-Roman pantheon. The Temple of Artemis, considered one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, drew pilgrims and visitors from far and wide to worship the goddess of fertility, hunting, and nature. Idolatry was deeply entrenched in the fabric of Ephesian society. The city's economy was closely tied to the sale of silver shrines and statues of Artemis, creating a bustling trade that depended on the people's devotion to the goddess. The prominence of Artemis worship was further amplified by the spiritual atmosphere, as the city was home to numerous other religious cults and practices. The Ephesian Artemis was depicted as a multi-breasted figure, symbolizing her nurturing and life-giving attributes. Devotees believed that she bestowed fertility, protection, and prosperity upon the city and its inhabitants. This deeply rooted belief system created a powerful sense of community and identity among the Ephesians. The arrival of the gospel. Amidst this backdrop of idolatry, the Christian gospel began to spread its roots in Ephesus. The Apostle Paul played a pivotal role in introducing Christianity to the city during his missionary journeys. In the book of Acts, chapter 18, we find an account of Paul's initial encounter with Ephesus. And he came to Ephesus, and he left them there, but he himself entered the synagogue and reasoned with the Jews. Acts 18 verse 19. Paul's efforts were not in vain, as he returned to Ephesus during his third missionary journey and spent approximately 3 years there. He engaged in discussions, debates, and teachings that challenged the existing religious norms. The rise of Christianity posed a significant threat to the economic and cultural stronghold that idol worship had on the city. Paul's teachings centered on the person of Jesus Christ and the salvation offered through faith in him. He proclaimed a message that emphasized the grace of God, contrasting sharply with the transactional nature of idol worship. As Paul's words gained traction, Ephesians found themselves faced with a choice: continue in the familiar paths of idolatry or embrace the radical teachings of the gospel. The riot erupts. The turning point in the conflict between the gospel and idolatry came when a silversmith named Demetrius perceived the burgeoning Christian movement as a direct threat to his trade and the local economy. Demetrius was involved in the production of silver shrines of Artemis, which were highly sought after by pilgrims and tourists. As Paul's teachings gained traction in converts, the demand for these silver idols diminished. The Bible recounts the incident in Acts 19 verses 23 to 28.
About that time there arose a great disturbance about the way. A silversmith named Demetrius, who made silver shrines of Artemis, brought in a lot of business for the craftsmen there. He called them together, along with the workers in related trades, and said, "You know, my friends, that we receive a good income from this business. And you see and hear how this fellow Paul has convinced and led astray large numbers of people here in Ephesus and in practically the whole province of Asia. He says that gods made by human hands are no gods at all. There is danger not only that our trade will lose its good name, but also that the temple of the great goddess Artemis will be discredited, and the goddess herself, who is worshipped throughout the province of Asia and the world, will be robbed of her divine majesty." Acts 19 verses 23 to 27.
Demetrius' inflammatory speech ignited a spark that led to a full-blown riot. The angry mob, composed of craftsmen and idol worshippers, took to the streets chanting praises to Artemis and creating chaos. The city was thrown into turmoil as the crowd's frenzy escalated. Paul's companions tried to intervene, but the mob's uproar prevented them from making any significant impact. Paul's response and the aftermath. Amidst the turmoil, Paul's desire to address the situation demonstrated the courage and conviction that characterized his ministry. Despite the danger, he was determined to defend the gospel and advocate for the truth. The book of Acts narrates Paul's intention to address the crowd, but he was dissuaded by fellow disciples and city officials due to the volatile situation, Acts 19 verses 30 to 41. Paul's response, or rather his lack thereof in this instance, raises important questions about how to navigate conflicts arising from the clash of faith and entrenched traditions. Some might interpret Paul's decision not to address the crowd as an avoidance of direct confrontation, while others might see it as a strategic move to prevent further violence. The riot in Ephesus left an indelible mark on the history of early Christianity. It highlighted the stark clash between the message of the gospel and the deeply entrenched practices of idol worship. The incident underscored the transformative power of the gospel message, which challenged the prevailing societal norms and religious practices of the time. Lessons from the clash. The riot in Ephesus holds several lessons that resonate through the ages. Conflict between truth and tradition. The incident demonstrates the inevitable clash between truth and tradition. The gospel's introduction challenged established beliefs and practices, often leading to resistance and conflict. This clash highlights the tension that arises when new perspectives challenge the status quo. The clash between the gospel and idolatry in Ephesus mirrors similar struggles that continue to unfold today. In a rapidly changing world, deeply rooted traditions and beliefs can clash with emerging ideologies and worldviews. As societies evolve, individuals and communities grapple with reconciling cherished traditions with newfound truths. Economic interests and spiritual convictions. The riot also illustrates the powerful interplay between economic interests and spiritual convictions. Demetrius' concern over the economic impact of the gospel's spread underscores how deeply intertwined religion and commerce can become. This remains relevant in contemporary discussions about the intersection of faith and business. The conflict of interest between economic gains and spiritual well-being poses ethical questions that still challenge modern societies. The pursuit of profit can sometimes lead to actions that compromise values and principles. The riot in Ephesus serves as a cautionary tale, prompting reflection on the priorities and values that guide human endeavors. Courage in the face of opposition. Paul's willingness to confront the situation head-on showcases the importance of courage and conviction in the face of opposition. His commitment to the gospel message, despite the threat to his safety, serves as an example for believers today to stand firm in their beliefs even when faced with adversity. Courage in the face of opposition is a universal theme that resonates across cultures and time periods. The riot in Ephesus challenges individuals to examine their own willingness to stand up for what they believe in, even when it goes against the prevailing norms. The story of Paul's boldness encourages individuals to consider the potential impact of their actions on the greater good and to make choices that align with their core values, even when those choices are difficult. The transformative power of the gospel. The incident in Ephesus underscores the transformative power of the gospel. The message of Christ has the ability to challenge societal norms and change hearts, even in the most entrenched environments. This lesson is a reminder of the enduring impact of the gospel in changing lives and cultures. Paul's teachings questioned the validity of the idols and the practices associated with them. He challenged the Ephesians to reconsider their devotion to man-made deities and instead turn to the living God. This shift in perspective offered a new way of understanding spirituality, one based on a personal relationship with a divine being rather than transactional rituals. The transformative power of the gospel also speaks to the universal human longing for meaning and purpose. The story of the riot in Ephesus invites individuals to reflect on their own spiritual journeys and the changes they have experienced as a result of encountering the message of Christ. Just as the Ephesians were called to reevaluate their beliefs, contemporary individuals are encouraged to explore how their faith can transform their lives and perspectives. The legacy of the riot. The riot in Ephesus had a lasting impact on the city and the spread of Christianity. While the immediate aftermath of the riot was marked by chaos and violence, the long-term effects were more nuanced. Strengthening of the Christian community. The incident brought the Christian community in Ephesus closer together. The adversity they faced led to a deepening of their faith and a greater sense of solidarity. The experience of standing against a hostile crowd reinforced their commitment to the gospel and to one another. Amplification of the gospel's message. The riot drew attention to the conflict between the gospel and idolatry. This attention, while tumultuous, ultimately led to increased interest in the message that Paul and other Christians were proclaiming. The riot sparked conversations and debates about faith, enabling the gospel to reach a broader audience. Erosion of idolatrous practices. Over time, the influence of the Christian message began to erode the stronghold of idol worship in Ephesus. As more individuals embraced the teachings of Christ, the demand for idols and shrines waned. The economic impact on the idol-making trade, as highlighted by Demetrius, signaled a shift in the city's spiritual landscape. Reflection on cultural and religious practices. The riot in Ephesus prompted individuals to reflect on their cultural and religious practices. The clash between the gospel and idolatry compelled people to evaluate the significance of their beliefs and the role that tradition played in their lives. This process of reflection contributed to the gradual transformation of Ephesian society. The continuing relevance. The riot in Ephesus serves as a poignant reminder of the ongoing tensions that arise when deeply ingrained traditions encounter new worldviews. The clash between the gospel and idolatry in Ephesus mirrors the struggles faced by societies throughout history as they navigate change and confront divergent perspectives. Furthermore, the story of the riot in Ephesus highlights the enduring nature of human spirituality and the pursuit of meaning. Just as the Ephesians grappled with questions of faith and devotion, contemporary individuals continue to seek answers to life's fundamental questions. The clash between the gospel and idolatry prompts individuals to reflect on the sources of their own beliefs and the impact those beliefs have on their lives and the world around them. The riot in Ephesus stands as a pivotal event that encapsulates the clash between the gospel and idolatry. It serves as a vivid example of the challenges faced by early Christians as they sought to spread the message of Christ in a world dominated by deeply ingrained religious practices. The clash between truth and tradition, economic interests and spiritual convictions, and the transformative power of the gospel continue to resonate in today's complex world. The lessons drawn from this historical event offer valuable insights for navigating the tensions that arise when faith encounters deeply rooted cultural and religious systems. As the world continues to evolve and as belief systems continue to clash, the riot in Ephesus reminds us of the importance of engaging in constructive dialogue, upholding our convictions with courage, and seeking to understand and respect the beliefs of others. In a time when divisions often seem insurmountable, the story of the riot in Ephesus calls us to find common ground and unity amidst diversity, just as early Christians did in the face of a tumultuous clash between gospel and idolatry. Thank you for joining us on this captivating journey through history and faith. The riot in Ephesus stands as a timeless testament to the clash between the gospel and idolatry, offering profound insights that continue to resonate with us today. As we reflect on the lessons from the past, let us remember the courage of Paul in the face of opposition, the transformative power of the gospel in reshaping lives, and the importance of seeking common ground amidst differing beliefs. If you found this exploration enlightening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. And as we navigate the complexities of a diverse world, may the story of the riot in Ephesus inspire us to approach challenges with open hearts and minds, fostering unity in the midst of differences. Thank you for being a part of this conversation, and until next time, may your journey be filled with understanding, growth, and purpose.